Hello and welcome to another edition of Bioethics and You. I'm your host Kevin Wong, and this episode is on euthanasia. In this episode, we're looking at the story of a very well-known figure. As you could say, a vegetable and became a vegetable. This is Mr. Potatohead, once a robust and lively potato. He was rendered bedridden by a terrible accident. What is this accident, you ask? Let's just see. As you can see, he was crushed by a stampede of rampaging dogs. And hit with a meteor. This series of tragic accidents smashed his brain, rendering him completely immobile. As some might say, he became a vegetable, both literally and figuratively. Great controversy has been struck regarding what to do with the body. Let's go now to a great debate between pro-euthanasia spokesperson Thomas Sato and anti-euthanasia spokesperson Sarah Spud.
Let me begin by saying that Mr. Potatohead is suffering. He has no control over his body, and he is completely dependent on others. No one should have to live through this, so I say pull the plug.
He may be suffering, but is it necessary to kill him? What you're considering is murder, Thomas. Besides, how do you know he wants to die? Maybe he wants to live, to cling on the last shred of hope he has left. Look at coma and cancer survivors. There might still be hope.
What hope? He's doomed and you know it. I may not be a mind reader, but would you want to live through hell? How would you feel if you were awake but couldn't move at all, and a complete burden on those you love? If he dies peacefully, he'll bring closure to his family and friends. Let him die with dignity.
Dignity? What dignity comes from suffocating or starving to death? Euthanasia is a slippery slope. If we allow this, someday this dignity argument will permit involuntary euthanasia, just like during the Holocaust. It's completely unethical just to kill him without his consent. And I'm sure that the family would find more joy in his survival than his death. Suicide is also the greatest sin, Thomas, and I'm pretty sure internal damnation in hell is much greater suffering than what he's going through right now.
Euthanasia is a slippery slope? Please, we all know the difference between right and wrong. We all see the boundary and know how to cross it. Can you trust that we can control ourselves? Besides, I'm an atheist, Sarah. I don't believe in hell, only that he'll stop suffering after his death.
You do know that puns are the lowest form of comedy.
Be quiet.
Anyways, as the great philosopher Hobbes believed, humans are deceitful by nature. Yes, you can see but the boundary, but how can we know you won't cross it? Regarding your denial of God, just because you don't believe hell exists doesn't mean it doesn't.
Sarah, is everyone truly deceitful, with no one truly good by heart? Mr. Potatohead was a great man, and he deserves much better than this. Instead of being a burden to those around him, in his death he can benefit them. His body can be used for research, and his parts can be recycled for potatoes in need.
Using his body for science? What happened to respect for the dead, Thomas? What if the family doesn't wish to give his body away, but rather wishes for a proper burial or cremation?
And good for them. What I'm saying is that euthanasia has the potential to society good, which is why we should support it.
He never asked for this. This is non-voluntary and explicit consent is required by law.
Is the thought of being trapped in your body, unable to move it, and being forced to stay like that for the rest of your life not consent enough?
What? Oh. What do you know? Maybe it's not as bad as you think. Maybe it's actually quite pleasant, and he wishes to stay alive in that state.
Would you like to try? I'm sure my fist could make you a vegetable too.
I'm already a vegetable. We're all vegetables. Mr. Potatohead here is just more so than the rest of us.
Love and puns being the lowest form of comedy.
Quiet! My point can really say for certain that he wants to die, or could it possibly wants to live? This could possibly be murder, and we could all be responsible.
Just imagine how it feels to be trapped in your own body. Do you really want to live through a living hell?
Haven't you already said that?
Yeah, I've waited till 5 minutes.
I think it's been 5 minutes by now.
Oh, has it? Alright, we can stop.
Speak. After his death, his request were recycled and given to local toy factories. where they were given to potatoes in need. He was also able to benefit the community in other ways. After the heated debate, a vote was called. The next day, the votes were tallied, and the results were close, but ended with 56% of votes in favor of euthanasia and 44% of votes against. In the end, they pulled the plug. Potatohead was dead. However, do not fret. After his death, his parts were recycled and given to local toy factories, where they were given to potatoes in need. He was also able to benefit the community in other ways. Interesting issue, wasn't it? This has been Bioethics in You. I'm Kevin Long, and thank you for watching.